Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright. Okay, so next chapter is power and politics. Okay, this is chapter that I can say that it's always happening in organization. So like every organization cannot run away from this uh, power and also political, or I can say that political, some sort of like cultural as well. So okay, so we will go through power and politics chapter. This one will be applied in the assignment as well. Okay, so number one is the contrast between leadership and power. Okay. And then we have basis of formal power. We do have a little bit on the personal power within the organization, role of dependence, and we have some sort of tactics and also some abuse of power as well. So we do have ethics and political behavior within the organization as well. So we'll go through one by one. Okay, so what is the meaning of power actually? We want to know about the difference between um, power and also leadership. Okay, power refers to an individual influence or an employee influence within the organization. So basically, so the ability, the ability of a person, of an employee to influence people. So this is power. Okay. So basically, um, some, as you can see that some leaders doesn't have the ability to influence. Some leaders lah, not every leaders, but basically we do like basically our boss have that kind of influence power lah, but sometimes they don't. Okay. And sometimes when we see other, for example our colleague, for example our seniors, even though that they do not have any kind of I must say that position, higher position, for example like manager or something, still he have good power. I mean like influencing people even though they don't have any position at all um inside the organization. So some leaders can actually have power, but some leaders do not have. Basically, they do not have any influence. They might have some sort of authority to actually ask you to do something, but basically they do not. Some people do not have power of influencing. Okay. All right. Right, so some leaders, some our boss, they use power to actually to achieve goals. Okay, to achieve goals, and then they want to have a direction of influence lah, meaning that they want people to follow them. Okay, they want people to follow the boss. Okay, follow the boss, meaning downward direction, meaning because the boss is actually at higher position, so those who actually lower position than them, so they want these people to follow them. Okay. All right, so we go to formal power. We have legitimate power. We have coercive. This one you ignore. There's something wrong with it. Okay, because we have reward power, we have legitimate power and coercive power. Okay, So basically, coercive is fear. Okay, this one depends on fear. All right, this one depends on fear. Fear of what? Fear of doing something that is quite quite wrong lah. I mean, like if you do not come to work, come to job, so you will get warning letter. This is coercive. Okay, and we do have another one is what you call it, um, reward power. Of course, we do have some sort of uh, for example, like benefits. A power to give you benefits when you are doing the job. For example, like um, okay, bonus, okay, increment, okay, increment of your salary. Sometimes what you call it, promotion, okay, recognition. Okay, so that is actually reward. Okay, legitimate means this one is actually because of the position lah, the position, meaning that uh, you need to follow your boss because they actually higher position than you. So that is the power lah. Okay, so that is formal power. Okay, another one called personal power, which is personal power means that you have it in yourself. Okay, and this one doesn't apply to bosses only. I mean, like or leaders only. They also apply to any employee within the organization. So okay, another one is expert power. Okay, under the personal power we have expert power, which is uh, this person have or this employee have let's say that have expert in something. For example, like expertise, okay, um, or some sort of skills that other people doesn't have, okay, or maybe knowledge, extra knowledge that these people have compared to the other employee. Okay, so basically this is the personal power was all about. Okay, so sometimes your colleague can have more skills than you are. Okay, especially for the young generation nowadays, they come in into organization, they bring in some sort of maybe digital skills that they learned by themselves, for example TikTok or Instagram. So this kind of thing is actually will increase the personal power of an employee. Okay, the next is referent power. This one is actually an employee that have desirable resources or personal traits. Okay, desirable resources, desired resources, personal trait. Okay, sorry. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Actually, this is actually because of a person that have, for example, desired resources like connection. They have outside connection that is very very strong. For example, like political figures or so something can. And they also have a good personal traits. For example, they themselves are influencer. For example, okay, they are very extrovert, love to meet with other people. Uh, it's actually like and they bring good image to the company as well. So this kind of person also have a good referent power. Okay, which if you want to compare between expert and referent, which one is actually desired more? Sorry, formal and personal, formal and personal. Which one is actually the most effective? Actually, personal power is actually the most effective, even though that you do not have a formal power, but sometimes because you have a good personal power, you can actually have formal power as well later on, can get promoted or something. So this is actually much more important. So if you are working in an organization, it's actually good to have a good personal power. Okay, so how to get good personal power? So you learn something new outside, you learn by yourself. It will it will be good, a good thing for the organization as well. I mean, like organization will get benefits from your own knowledge or skills. All right, next is the role of dependence. What's the meaning of roles of dependence? Okay, role of dependence is like I give you an example of situation. You have a TikTok skills, okay, which your company doesn't have, okay, which your company doesn't have. So, uh, and suddenly, the market trends say that we need to use TikTok to market our service. So you are the only one who have TikTok skills. So then you are doing the job of marketing, but because of you are the one who actually have the skills, so nobody else have the skills. So everyone depending on you. So that is actually the meaning of role of dependence. Okay, you make you make your other colleague to depend on you, something like that. And why this has happened? Because it's a scarcity, meaning your skills is rare. Your skills is of having the TikTok skills is very rare inside the company. So the importance of the skills that you have, meaning that uh, the importance of having TikTok skills for the marketing of the company is very crucial. So that's why it creates dependence, and non-substitute. Maybe because of your company cannot hire more employees outside, so you are non-substitute to the other employee, meaning you do not have uh, what we call it competitors among colleagues with regards to TikTok skills, for example. Okay, so you are the only one have the skills, so there is no substitute for your skills. Okay. Influence tactics. Next. This is the tactics that you can actually make people to we call it to be influenced. Okay. Number one is legitimacy. Okay. Authority position. As I say, number one is position. Your position lah as a leader, as a as a boss. Okay. That is number one. Influence of tactics. Number two is persuasion, the way you persuade others. Okay, uh, you know how to persuade others. That is actually another tactics. Inspirational appeals, you become inspiration to other people. For example, you are working in a company, but you are as well a good businessman, a successful businessman, that is become inspiration to other colleagues as well. You can also consultation. You can give consultation maybe on your skills, okay, and then you able to um okay, exchange rewards, okay, meaning that you are able to for example, you are a boss. If your underlings or your subordinate follow your instruction, you give them a little bit of holiday, okay, so if you have that tactics, if you can actually provide your subordinate with rewards, it's actually a good influence as well. Number 6 is personal appeals. Personal appeals. This one, uh, for example, like maybe you yourself is a very kind person. You know you have, for example, like good friendship with your colleague. You have like a loyalty among your colleague. For example, like you have a small group of your colleague that is actually quite quite close to you, that they actually treat you like a best friend or something lah. Okay. Number 7 is flattery or praise. You can use this one, or friendly behavior. You flatter someone, you say that, oh, you're good, you look beautiful today, that comes to the kind of thing lah. Okay. Number 8 is pressure. Okay. This one is using warning. Okay, using threats. This one is not really good lah, but some bosses can actually have this, or some leaders can actually have this. Even our colleague or seniors also have this. Number 9 is okay. Number 9, you support, or you support other colleague, and then the other colleague will help you back. Okay. Help, support. Okay. Okay, so so basically some tactics is actually more effective than the others lah. Basically, for example, the effective one, I can say that is rational, persuasion, inspiration, consultation are the most effective lah. Number 2, 3, 4. But when it comes to pressure, it's actually negative one, going to backfire you again. But if you have but if you are using a little bit of flattery and support, pressure can actually be lowered down lah. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. All right. So next is the abuse of power. And sometimes people are using power to abuse it. Okay. And power leads people to place their own interests, self-interest, become very greedy or something, and then sometimes the power actually leads to overconfident of decision making, especially if, let's say, they have the position of bosses or higher leader. They don't really care about what the other subordinates think about or give some sort of opinion, so they don't really want to take it as part of the decision making, so they're overconfident as well. Okay. And power doesn't necessarily negative. Sometimes power is also going to give a positive effect. So it depends on how people looking at it. Okay, it's how people perceive it. All right. Okay. Another one example of abuse of power is sexual harassment lah. This one is the activity of sexual nature that affects individual employment. Okay, so basically, people get harassed of this sexual harassment. Will sometimes will get traumatized or even quit the job. Okay, so the managers in the company must make sure that they have responsibility to actually protect their employees, but not using their power to sexual harass their employees or underlings. Okay. Okay. When it comes to abuse of power, the company also need to make sure that they have a good, let's say that a good policy. Okay. Good active policy, so that maybe the sexual harassment is not actually happening inside the company, right, anymore. And then they can actually issue a complaint, even before issue complaint. Okay. Make sure that their what you call their employees have the authority or have the right to issue complaints. Okay, I think some companies, they actually say that, okay, if you want to issue a complaint about the abuse of power of your leaders, you can actually what call it you do not have to expose your name. You just complain. Okay, just complain. So sometimes the company gets several complaints with regards to the same leader, so they will take a type of action lah. Okay. So managers also need to investigate every complaint, include the legal and human resource department. So make sure that the offenders are disciplined or terminated. Okay, let's say when it comes to the abuse. Okay. All right. Next is ethics and political behavior. Okay, so political behavior means that okay, this is like for example, key information of decision maker, whistleblowing, spreading rumors. Okay, this kind of like political behavior is actually happening, always happening in our organization. Sometimes we try to avoid it, but we can't. Okay, it's like there is some sort of within the organization there are small groups, supporting this leader, supporting that leader, so that kind of thing is actually happening lah in negotiation. Okay, so causes and consequences of political behavior is actually the factors. There are two factors that causing this there is a particular political behavior within organization. Number one is the individual factors, for example, like expectation of success, or maybe I can say that their career development goal of individual, okay, and their personality, how the job actually meet their personality, or their focus. Okay, some individual have focus on family, some individual have focus on more on themselves. So every individual have their own focus. So organization factors is for example, like resources allocation, okay, promotion opportunities given to their employees. Sometimes they have low trust towards their employees, and position wise function of position within the organization, for example, like marketing manager, finance manager, that kind of thing. Okay, performance evaluation system, or I can say that when it comes to Malaysia, it's a KPI. Reward practice, democratic decision making. Okay, some bosses, they love to ask for the opinion of their subordinate, but some bosses, they don't. Okay, so like they just give instruction, the subordinate must follow. So democratic is actually very good. This is actually been applied by Google. Google company, they treat their employees like partners instead of employees. Okay, all right. Okay, so sometimes political behavior can also give a little bit of consequences that is not really good. Okay, so for example, like decrease job satisfaction. Okay, job satisfaction is decreased. Okay, because if let's say we do have a lot of political behavior, for example, like threats, or maybe high expectation from the boss. Okay, so it's actually going to decrease our job satisfaction, increase anxiety and stress. Okay, this one happened to me as well. When you want to go to work but you cannot because you are trembling. That is actually happen lah when you are working. And also going to increase the turnover, meaning people always quitting, coming in, quitting, coming in. So that kind of thing is actually turnover, and also is going to reduce your performance lah. As an employee, you don't want to come to work, you don't want to come to meetings, so that kind of thing happen. If let's say the ethics of political behavior is not being controlled, it's not being okay, it's not being managed. Okay, and then it's also going to, the consequences is also going to actually increase the defensive behavior, meaning people start to avoid people. Okay, so for example, like you're avoiding your boss, you're avoiding talking to your boss. Okay, for example, like avoiding action, you avoid blame on you. Okay, you try to play safe, you don't want to make a lot of changes to your job, you don't want to say your opinion about something, can, because you might think that your boss will going to be very uh, disappointed or whatever, because maybe you have high expectation, and then you try to avoid change. Okay, you do a lot of sometimes you also blame other people as well because you want to avoid being blamed. Okay, and then you just justify something that is not really good lah. Okay, so all these consequences can be managed by impression management process, which is they need to actually hear the other the colleague, what they are thinking about the politics of the organization, which is as for me, leaders need to make sure that the politics is under control. They cannot say that, my organization will never have politics and all that. It will have politics, that's for sure. Every organization will have politics. So it's a matter of the leader on how to maintain the peace of the peaceful of the politics. Okay, so I think that's all for today for the chapter 11, power and politics. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.